What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for coming out today to the Go Big to Give Big webinar. This is one of my favorite presentations. I've done this one for a bunch of people. It gets me so motivated and excited. And it's really just an overview of what Go Big to Give Big is all about and how we can start implementing it into our businesses or starting to make impact. So it's going to be a fun presentation today. I'm going to share my screen here for everyone. You don't need to have your cameras on, guys. This isn't directly interactive for the next probably 25-30 minutes, but then I'll open it up to some Q&A and let you guys ask me some questions, have some conversations, and make some things happen. So I'm going to share my screen here for all of y'all. But there are going to be some asks along the way. So don't think you can't pay attention. I still want you to pay attention. I just don't necessarily, I'm not looking at your faces because I'm looking at a presented screen. So let me just put this into presentation mode. There we go. Okay. So guys, this is Go Big to Give Big, and it's all about how to shift your business to buy yourself more happiness and create a lasting legacy. This is a mission that was created quite a while ago, in about 2018. I'll get more into my story in a little bit, but I'm really excited to share that with you guys today. But if you don't know me, you know that I love to support people in my family, friends that are family. So today, one of our incredible people on this call, my man, Sammy Torres, has a birthday. And one of the, Sammy is one of my clients, and he is creating an incredible charity right now. He is creating something called Baseball Face Cares. There we go. That is Sammy's dad. And what they're doing is they're helping communities get sporting equipment, create hope, and create more energy and just essentially more hope for them to feel good and create community. So on the left there, you'll see those are the baseballs that these kids are playing with. And on the right, those are the baseballs that they're providing. And so I've been working with Sammy over the past probably 3 or 4 weeks now to help them create some new initiatives, explore how to grow their charity and how to make a bigger impact in what they're trying to do. So for Sammy's birthday today, I would love if anybody on this call felt compelled or interested to donate $100 to buy some sporting equipment for kids in a community. So Kelly, do you want to put that link in the chat? What they do, here you guys can see, is this is one of the people that they've supported. This is Kazumba. On the left, there's an incredible video, and Sammy, if you're listening, if you have it, you can put it in the chat. But on the left is Kazumba. You can't see it, but he's holding cardboard in his hand. That is cardboard that he's using to catch balls with. I don't even call them balls, but he's got weights tied around his arm right here. He's standing on bricks. And this is the training that they're putting the kids through to help get them to go and play into bigger leagues. Well, on the right is Kazumba playing in the MLB Draft League. They worked very hard. They brought him over from Uganda and got him to play in the league and got some stuff happening. So these are the kinds of things, the real tangible stuff that Sammy's organization, Baseball Face Cares, is doing, is helping kids go from, not having any hope to feeling like they can go play sports anywhere. These are, this was through a FaceTime that I had with some of the kids and the coach. That's Coach Wafula there. He's the one that helped bring Kazumba over. These are a group of their kids. We chatted with them. They're so amazing. And on the right, you can see some of the equipment that they send over. So that's what your $100 will go to purchase, is this kind of equipment that we're sending over there to support those kids. So happy birthday, Sammy. Wanted to give you a big shout out, bro. Very proud of what you're doing and really excited to continue to grow with you. But it wouldn't be Go Big to Give Big if I didn't start the presentation talking about how somebody is going bigger and giving bigger. So really excited to jump into the presentation now. My name is Randy Molland. If you haven't met me before, I'm the co-founder of a company called The Reinvestors, which is a real estate investment company. I co-founded something called Synergy Mastermind, which is one of the top rated masterminds in Canada for real estate investors. And I also am the founder of the Go Big to Give Big movement. If you haven't heard my story before, I'm going to share it briefly with you. I was a very hardworking young guy, come up from a lower income, middle class family. And so I busted my butt off to become a journeyman electrician by the time I was 22. I was wiring multi-million-dollar job sites, leading crews, and always had a gift for thinking bigger and doing more. Along the way, I had a mentor come in and support me. And one of the things that he said is, Randy, you got to buy a house as quick as you can. So I worked my butt off and I bought my first house by the time I was 25. And that same mentor told me, Randy, If you keep up the way that you're going, you're going to retire by the time you're 50, and you're going to beat everybody to retirement, and you're going to live the most fulfilled, amazing life. Unfortunately, 2 weeks after I bought my first house and moved in, that same mentor passed away on a job site accident. And he was 42 years old. So I went from thinking that I was going to be able to retire at 50 to realizing that I might not ever make it to 50. And in that moment, I decided that I wanted to go live a life of purpose and meaning. And so I created a real estate investment company. I Googled how to make a ton of money and never work again, found real estate, built the company, had a lot of fun with it, had a goal to retire by the time I was 30 instead of 50, and worked my butt off. Unfortunately, along the way, when I was 28 years old, I ended up having a non-epileptic seizure, and I ended up in the hospital, and they said, Randy, your vitals are 100% fine. You were just built on stress, trauma, pain, everything that comes with the trauma that I was going through. And so as I came out of the hospital, my friend sent me a podcast, and it was with a guy named Cole Hatter, and it was all about how you can make your money matter. And it was that if you wanted to make $1 million a year, build a business that did 2 million, give $1 million away, keep your million, and don't feel guilty about what you've built. And I was like, oh, that is a way better way to build a business than on the pain and trauma of somebody passing away. I can now build it for passion and purpose. And all of a sudden, my burnout went away, my fatigue went away. I was very excited about what I was doing. We had a meetup at the time with our real estate investment company that had about 30 people on a monthly basis. And we said, hey, if we charge $10 at the door, then we can start donating $300 a month. And with that $300 a month, we supported an organization called Kids Sport Victoria, where we were able to put one kid through sport every single month. What I realized, though, was as we brought and scaled this meetup, as we started talking about our giving initiative, the $10 at the door, we created a bit of a community around it. And it became a mission that we said, hey, 30 people puts one kid through sport. Next month, can we get to 60 people? Because then we can help 2 kids go through sport. Well, next month we had 60 people. Well, I said, well, why don't we go to 90 next month? And then we went to 90. And next thing you know, within 3 or 4 months, we were at over 100 people on a monthly basis, donating $1,000 a month and putting 3 kids through sport every single month. From nothing different, I ran the same meetup the exact same way. I just charged $10 at the door and donated it out. That got me motivated and excited. So I did the same thing in my real estate portfolio. I started donating $10 per door per month from my real estate portfolio. The same thing happened. As we scaled our portfolio, we realized for every 30 doors we bought, we put one kid through organized sport every single month. And all those same people that came to our meetup wanted to invest in our portfolio, and we scaled our portfolio that way. I did the same thing for our mastermind, where a portion of all of our profits that came in got donated. And we just created this really incredible movement. And the one thing that I realized was that the bigger I went, the more I could give. I needed to go big to give big. And that is the whole premise of what we've created, is adding more passion and purpose and meaning to our bottom line so that we're more driven by the impact we can make than the income that we want. And that's what I realized through my story. So that's a little bit about myself, how I got here, and why Go Big to Give Big came to be, and what I'm really excited to share with you guys today. So how do we create Go Big to Give Big? Through creating profitable businesses that incorporate an element of giving to it, so that as your company scales in revenue, so does your giving. And in return, it creates more happiness for you. There we go. Oops. Sorry, there's a bit of a lag here. So this is the basic principle. On the left-hand side, you have capitalists. Those are people that like to make money. On the right, you have philanthropists. Those are people that like to do good. In the middle, we have Go Big to Give Big. Those are businesses built for profit that support nonprofit or other movements. So what we're really doing is marrying the two things together. You can be a capitalist and make as much money as you want, as long as you work with inside a philanthropist mindset where you support and do good in the world. And the number one question that I get asked is, why are you sharing publicly about your giving? Don't you know the left hand's supposed to give without the right hand knowing? I don't tell people what I give. I'm the same way. Personally, what I give, I keep private. But in my business, what I give, I share publicly. I want to inspire people. I want people to work with me. I want people to know what we're doing and how we're supporting people as a brand. So you guys will never know what I give privately, but publicly from my company, you will. So just clear that out. So these are some examples of what for-purpose companies might look like. This is something called Tom's Shoes. How many people in here have heard of Tom's Shoes? Probably everybody. I bet you everybody in here has bought a pair. If you haven't, what they started was, he was one of the OG people to do this. He said, every time somebody buys a pair of shoes, I'm going to give a pair of shoes away. Here's another example. Stella Beer partnered with water.org. So every time you bought Stella Beer, you provided clean water to a third world country. Here's another one, Bombas Socks. Every time you bought a pair of socks, they provided a pair of socks to the homeless community. They've now gone on to build a bunch of articles of clothing, and I think they've donated, I think it's almost like tens of millions of articles of clothing to people in need. Absolutely outstanding. 10 Tree Clothing. Every time you buy a piece of their clothing, they donate, or they plant 10 trees. So this is what we call a for-purpose business. And so some of the different types that I want to explain to you that work within a for-purpose model are, let's say, the one-for-one model. So every time I do X, I give Y. That's like Tom's Shoes and all the ones I listed there. Basically, it's one for one. Another example for that is every time I refer someone, I donate. So just yesterday, I got hired for as a consultant, and the person that referred me, I said, hey, I would love to make a $500 donation to your charity for sending that referral over. Who can I make it out to? So there's a bunch of different ways that you can make that work. Number two is a percentage of revenue. So that's just say you donate 10% of all net profit of a product or your overall revenue to charity or to places in need. So you can do a percentage of your revenues of the products that you sell. The third thing is you can do a time donation. So for every time I do something, I give something away. So maybe you're a coach and you say, hey, for every 5 clients that I work with, I give 1 client away for free. Or maybe you, oh God, I can come up with a million examples. Maybe you're a yoga instructor and you do 10 classes paid, but then you do 1 class for free for people that can't afford a class, something like that. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can just donate your time. The other one here is a social or human benefit. So I employ X types of people, or I only rent to certain things. So maybe you are a landlord and you only rent, of your 10 units, 1 of them goes to single parents that maybe can't afford the full rent. So you can do different types of social benefits inside of that as well. There's so many different ways. And I love my next diagram here. It allows me to explain to you why we want to do business this way. So in the bottom left quadrant, we have what I call unmotivated businesses. These are companies that are not making a ton of income. They're not making a ton of impact. They just kind of exist. So as you see here, as we go higher here on the more income scale, on the right, we see more impact. So as we go up here, that is a profitable business. That is the majority of entrepreneurs. Those are people that are making good income. They're doing good in their business and they're capitalists. They're making a lot of money. On the right, you'll see we go to philanthropy. Well, that is the nonprofit sector. That is a nonprofits are the most non-profitable organizations out there. And so they're making a lot of impact, but they're not making a lot of income. Well, that's where we come in as Go Big to Give Big businesses. We're making as much money as we can. We want this to be an infinite number of revenue because we want to get as far up as we can. Then once we start getting to that space, we're looking at how do we make more impact on the right as well. So we start making more impact. So as we start making more income, so does our impact come, and that is the Go Big to Give Big businesses. And this is becoming a trend that consumers want to see. This isn't just something that I'm making up. This is from a 2017 Cone Consumer Report that 89% of all consumers are likely to switch brands to one that is associated with a good cause, given similar price and quality. So apples to apples, 89% of consumers are likely to switch to a brand that has a giving component. Here's another one from the same report that says 87% of people are more likely to trust a company that has a giving component to it. 91% have a more positive image of the company. On here, 55% of consumers are willing to pay more for products that come from a socially responsible company. These are incredible stats to hear and look at of such high numbers. 92% improve employees' leadership and broadens their professional skills if the company encourages volunteering. 93% of employees who volunteer are happier with their employers. So by giving your employees the opportunity to volunteer, you actually are giving your employees the ability to like you more and be happier in their work environments. And this is the final one here. It's from an article in Forbes that says nearly 80% of consumers are more likely to remember a company with a strong purpose and 4.5 times more likely to recommend it to a friend or family. How amazing would that be if just for doing good, you got recommended 4.5 times more? So how does all this relate to you? So you have product A, or your person one, and your product two. Person A and person B selling product one and product two. So you're selling the same thing. Person one is offering the same benefits, same pricing, similar terms, same with person two. Person one does not give back. They are just running a normal for-profit company. On the right, we have a for-purpose company. They do give back. Well, what is that going to mean? Based on that number that I showed you guys earlier, around 89% of consumers wanting to work with a company that gives back versus one that doesn't, that means you're going to take 89% of the clients from companies that aren't giving back. That means you're going to get more clients, you're going to make more money, you're going to make more impact, and you're 4.5 times more likely to get referred. This is astonishing numbers that we've seen. And I saw that when I did my real estate investment portfolio. I saw all these people come into my meetup because they wanted to make impact compared to other meetups in town. And then I saw a lot of them wanting to invest in my buildings because I had an impact-driven model for what it was. And we took over a huge market share of the local investors that knew about what we were doing. And this is the innovation adaptation life cycle. So what we can say is that on the left side here, this is currently where we are with for-purpose companies. This is a trend that's just starting to rise, where a portion of all these companies are giving back. As we tend to go through the cycles that we'll see more and more businesses adapt to it. As we adapt to it, it will become something more normal. And as we start to come down this backside, we will see that this is going to be 15 years from now when it's normalized. I envision a world where in 15 to 20 years, every company will have some sort of giving initiative to it, because gone are the days of just greedy capitalism. Now, if you have the ability to go make as much money as you want in this world, we should be attaching charities to them so that we can go and support and make bigger impact on the other end. And it is the way that we're seeing everything trending when all the stats I'm looking at are above 80%, majority closer to 90% of people wanting to work with companies that have the giving components to them. So I think we can all agree, consumers are expressing what they want with where they're putting their dollars. So if that's the case, why aren't more people doing it? Why aren't more people jumping on board? And through the probably 60 plus consults that I've done, I've found that 4 reasons that the companies hold back to attaching their brands to a giving component. One is we can't even pick which Netflix series we want to watch, let alone trying to choose a charity. There is so many options available. There's so many different charities. There's so many different reasons to go help kids or third world countries or clean water or cancer or disaster relief. And then how do you vet where their money is going and all this kind of stuff? So it becomes decision fatigue. So something to help combat that is we can look for 2 different charities. Keep it very simple. One that's going to make you feel happy. So for me, that's Baseball Face Cares. The fact that I can just go write a check for $100 and know that I'm providing equipment to kids puts a smile on my face and makes me feel really good. It's very simple, very easy. The second thing is finding one that makes you feel sick that it even exists in this world. So something like that might be child sex trafficking. It might be some cancer. It might be maybe that there's places in this world that still don't have clean water. That's what's going to motivate you to continue to work harder. When I donate, my friend owns an orphanage down in Mexico for sex trafficking. It's called the International Network of Hearts. And when I go down there and support them and hang with the kids and make donations, it makes me realize that I still have a lot more work to do. I have to make a lot more money so that I can continue to support those kids and make a bigger impact and try and eliminate sex trafficking, even though I don't know if we'll ever get there, but it keeps me motivated. When I work with Sammy, it makes me happy. It makes me feel good and brings me joy. So I encourage people to find 2 charities that you want to support. And then you don't overvet them. You just start small. So questioning them on things like, how do they spend their money? about 20% or less to overhead is a reasonable number through the industry. You know, what is the reputation? If you Google them or you ask people for referrals, what does the reputation look like? It's pretty easy. If you find a charity, you can make some phone calls, find out about them, and then do their social medias portray good vibes. Is it something that you want to get behind, something that you want to support? And don't start too big. You don't have to go write a $10,000 check to a charity that you just met. You can start by just doing $100, like I shared with Sammy there, to get to know the organization. How do they respond? Do they send me an email? Do they care? Do they send me photos of where my money is going? Things like that. So you can start small and just get started is the biggest thing. The second thing is they don't feel like their donations will make a big enough impact. Right? They feel like it's never going to be enough, but you don't go to the gym and just start curling 50-pound weights as soon as you get to that gym. You usually start with 5-pounders and work your way up. It's the same thing with donations. Don't start by feeling you need to write a $50,000 check. It's about building the muscle over time. And I started by donating $20 a month on a duplex. You think that had any impact anywhere? Not really. It was the compound effect as we grew our portfolio. It was the compound effect as we grew our meetup that allowed us to make those donations. And working directly with a lot of charities, I've learned that even as something as far as $100 can go a mile when we're talking about, you know, providing sporting equipment for kids. Think of how many baseballs you can buy for $100 that now get kids playing sports in countries that don't have that opportunity. Your donation can go a long way, but it's about building the muscle. The third thing is we don't really know how to create the logistics to donate. There's a lot of stuff going on. Where do you go to it? It's time consuming. How do I move the money? What are my tax write-offs? The simplest thing to combat this is create a separate bank account to move the money to that you want to donate. So monthly or quarterly, you go through and you say, hey, I've completed X amount of transactions or I've sold X amount of products. I'm going to take that and move that money down into a new bank account, which then you can decide when you move that money, how you move that, but you can also send that to your accountant and say, hey, here's all the donations I made throughout the year. So creating easy metrics to track are very easy. When you say things like, for every product I sell, I'm going to donate X, it allows you to track very easily, move that money into accounts, and then from that account, you can make those donations out and see and send the reports back to your accountant so that he can make track of all the donations that you made. So what you'll see here, guys, we're really trying to simplify giving, right? The simpler something is, the more likely we are to step into it. And the fourth thing that I found is that people feel like they're maybe a used car salesman when they're trying to pitch this to other businesses, right? They feel like they're that greasy car salesman that comes up and approaches you and just wants to get the sale. This isn't the way you sell your business. This is a value add, not your sales pitch. Right? You still have to perfect your sales pitch. You still have to be really good at sales, but this is a value add. And let me explain. When we start sales, the number one thing is people have to know who you are and what you do. Hi, my name is Randy Mullen. I run the most philanthropic group of entrepreneurs on the planet, and we do a bunch of different trainings and supports and different things. And that is why we are the place that you're going to want to hang out, right? So we explain what we are and what we do. That gets people to know me. Right? In the factors of know, like, and trust. They know about my brand now. They're very interested and want to work with it. The like factor, that's where we come in and we take 89% of the market share. That's where we add value with giving. So that's when I might say something like, for every member that comes into our organization, we donate 3 books to the educational bank here that supports financial literacy in youth. So now I've piqued their interest. Now they're coming in going, oh, that sounds kind of cool. Tell me a little bit more about that. Oh, yeah, well, if anybody that you know, like an entrepreneur, probably has read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And a lot of them say, if I got that book when I was 15 years old, I would have been on a whole trajectory for life. Well, that's what I'm talking about. I love supporting financial literacy in kids. So I want to provide more books to kids to get in touch. What I've done now is I've built the like factor. Now we're talking human to human in our sales process. I'm actually building a relatable conversation to them. This is how we started to add value to our conversation. And then the last thing is the trust factor, where I invite them to join my movement, not close the deal. So instead of saying, hey, Sally, would you like to sign up for our program, I say, hey, Sally, how would you like to jump on our movement of supporting kids with financial literacy? And you're also going to get this incredible community to be a part of, and knowing that you're going to be making a massive impact with our organization if you were to sign up today. So now the ask becomes, do you want to help these organizations with our movements and get the value of what we're offering? So we're, again, really trying to make it human to human, selling the impact that we're making, because people want to buy into people, not the product that you're selling. So that's something that I found to work very well for me and help make more relations with the people that I'm trying to work with. So the question I have to ask everybody on this call is, do you want to create a legacy, or do you just want to make money? Because I want to make a legacy. I'm not put on this earth to just make more money. I'm here to do good with it. And this is a good example of what I created with my real estate portfolio. So we took a bunch of different units where we're doing $10 per door per month as a donation. We put it into our giving account. From our giving account, we were able to distribute it out to just doing good deeds, charities that make us sick, or charities that make us happy. So as we scale our portfolio, so does the amount of donations that we put together every single month. So you can start seeing the compound effect here. This is go big to give big. Buy more units, give more away. Very simple concept and very easy. Now I'm not just making money, I'm making lasting legacy impact. This is a direct line item in your business and proportional to your profits. This is how we get away from a lot of the sleazy sales stuff that we hear, is that it's directly proportional to what I do. I don't just say a portion of all of my profit is being donated, because it doesn't explain what portion. Is it $1? Is it $100,000? We don't know. So that's where a lot of people back in the day were saying, oh yeah, we donate a portion of our profits, and they'll go write a check for $50 when they went and made 50,000. We talk about the impact we're making. So for, I think on my next one here, I'll get to that one sec. So it's directly proportional to what we do. This is, through all of this, is why I've created something called fractional CGO, Chief Giving Officer. I love supporting people with these models and these missions, helping them come up with these creative ideas on how they put them in. And these are some examples of some things that I've done in my business that you guys can look for. So 3 books for every member who signs up for our community. That's what I explained to you guys. Well, now when I'm talking to people, I can say, yeah, for every 10 people that we put in, I'm putting 30 books to this education bank. So we're looking for 10 people today that want to sign up for our community and make an impact of 30 books. But also, as I scale to 100 people, we're going to donate 300 bucks, and 200 people, we're going to donate 600 bucks. Direct impact that our consumers can see and know what we're doing. Another example is that I buy 5 baseball face cares packages for any referral that Sammy sends me. Well, Sammy sent me 2 referrals the other week, so I just went and bought 10 kits to help him out because of the referrals that he made. So I've committed to supporting causes from referrals. So now it's directly proportional that when Sammy, it's not just, hey, Sammy, can you go refer me out and bring me some friends? It's like, no, dude, I know you want to support your organization and I want to support it too. So anyone that you send over, I'm going to support you by buying baseball kits. So now Sammy's out there talking and trying to get people to come in and work with me because A, he's working with me already, but now he's making an impact into his organization by sending people over. And the one thing I can assure you guys is that more money doesn't bring you more happiness, but how you use it will. This is how I'm buying my happiness right now. So this is a group of us that went down to an orphanage in Mexico, and we stopped at a local Mexican store and bought a ton of groceries. I think there was like 12 shopping carts full. And we went down to the orphanage down there. We unloaded it. It basically gave them food for 6 months, and played with the kids and spent time with them. It was money that bought all those groceries. And that was the happiness that I got from delivering them and hanging out with the kids down there. Here's a group of us. There was 50 of us in June that went down to Orange County. We held a little event down there. And the first day we went and moved 12,000 pounds of food at a food bank that was going to feed over 3,000 families. Everybody in this group here said it was the highlight of the weekend, getting to know each other, hanging out. And it was money that we donated that allowed us to get in there and move the food that we bought to the families in need. So again, buying more happiness by being able to spend it on things that mean something. Oops. And then this is my friend's orphanage, the International Network of Hearts. And I support them by providing by providing living supplies to sex trafficked kids. So they need to pay for these 13 kids or 13 girls to live. And so by supporting them, I realized that I'm buying my happiness. And it was as simple as when I went down there, it was like, I asked my buddy, I said, how can we get them, what would be like a treat for them, or what can we do for them? He said, oh, if we can just buy them ice cream, that would make their world. It cost me $50. And to watch those kids smile and laugh and be so grateful for a simple ice cream cone made me so happy. These are memories that I'm buying with my money. So more money doesn't bring me happiness, but how I'm spending it is bringing me that happiness. And that leads me to my favorite part of this presentation. It's probably the one that I get the most feedback on, is creating a happiness bank account. This is something that anybody can do. If you don't have a business and you've hung on for this call, totally okay. I appreciate you. If you're just looking for something to start today, you can. So what I encourage everyone to do is take $100 a month and put it into what I'm calling your happiness bank account. And I love to use this example. My fiance and I took $100 and we went and bought dinner a few months ago, and we bought ourselves 90 minutes of happiness. While we were in that restaurant, for the time we were there, we were very happy, and it cost us $100 for 90 minutes. That same $100, we went and bought a bunch of toys for an animal shelter and a bunch of food. And we went to the animal shelter, hung out for 90 minutes and gave them the toys, but it bought us months worth of memories. We still talk about it today. I remember that time we went and played with those animals, how cute it was and how warm it makes us feel, how good it made us feel. It was $100 for 90 minutes, but now it's created an entire lasting memory that we talk about all the time. We did the same thing. We took the same $100 and we went and bought a bunch of donuts, and we went down to the homeless area of our neighborhood, and we gave away the donuts, and we talked to the homeless people and just got acquainted to them, and seeing them so excited to just get a donut. Again, same $100, same 90 minutes for another story that we were able to put into our memory bank. So what I want to encourage all of you to do on this call is take the $100, go do something good with it, and buy yourself 12 memories a year that are lasting legacy impacts. And then this is my dream, is that anybody on here that has kids, imagine how cool it would be if every month you got to ask your kid, hey, where do you want to donate this month? What organization do you want to do? Who do you want to support? And it starts by them, picking up their whale toy and saying, well, I want to support some whales. Cool. Now you get to spend time with your kids learning about how do you go support an organization that has something to do with whales. And the goal is that it becomes customary for your kids to want to donate. After that, they go to school, or they're walking down the street and they see a homeless person and they say, Daddy or Mommy, why don't we go buy a pair of shoes for this homeless person with our $100 this month? Imagine how incredible humanity would be if that's the way we raised our kids, that we just loved doing good and supporting more people. That is one of my favorite things to do, favorite things to talk about. But this person here is one of the biggest inspirations. This is Tony Robbins, and he says, the secret to living is giving. Do it if you don't have it, and I promise you scarcity will leave your life. The number one thing I hear is that I don't have enough money to donate. It's not about the money. It's about the law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity says when you give something out, something has to come back to you. So even if you have nothing, if you never heard Tony Robbins' story, he had nothing and he gave all of his last dollars away to some kid to buy his mom dinner. And next thing you know, he got hired and closed and became who he is now. And he attributes that to that thing. So money, having a lack of money doesn't mean that you can't give. It just means you have to get rid of your scarcity mindset. And by giving it away, eliminates your scarcity mindset. So what I want to encourage all of you to do today, there's a 3-day reticular activating system activator. So what this is when you buy a blue car and all of a sudden you go driving and you see blue cars everywhere. That's your reticular activating system. What we see, our brain tricks us to go see more of. So what I want you to do today is I want you to go buy a coffee for a stranger. Go to the store purposely, wait for the next person in line and say, hey, I want to buy you a coffee today. So buy a coffee for a stranger. Give a homeless person a gift. I don't care if it's socks from your drawer, hopefully newer. I don't care if it's a shirt you've never used or a sweater or something, but just go give a homeless person a gift and watch them appreciate how much it means to you. And then 3 is complete a simple act of kindness. helping somebody with their groceries, carrying them out of the store, or holding the door for someone and looking in the eyes and really thanking them or acknowledging them, something like that. What this will do is this will trigger you to continue to see more things of good that you can do in this world. And now we're starting to train our brains to want to do more good things and find the good that's out there. The other thing that you guys can do is you can listen to the Go Big to Get Big podcast. I got to give a plug here. We've had a lot of incredible episodes, a lot of fun, and we talk to people about their stories of going bigger and their stories of giving bigger. And one of the most amazing things is some of the most prolific entrepreneurs I know, their stories of giving don't come from the $1 million checks they're writing. They come from the $50 glasses they buy a kid that couldn't see, or the $100 bike they bought for a small girl that was, mommy and daddy couldn't pay for it at the grocery store or something like that. Those are some incredible stories that we're getting through there. This is something I'm very excited about. This is our new community membership that we're launching. And it's all about just doing memberships and business differently. It's all about, I'll just read you this manifesto because it makes me so happy. We may never be widely known and we may never be millionaires, but we will never compromise our values. We believe in generosity being a core value of our lives, not just when it's convenient. We are not just givers once we've had success. We are givers all the time. Making impact is our passion and success is our motivation. We play all out knowing that when we go bigger, we are able to give bigger. We are the new generation of business owners. And so we are launching a really incredible founding group of philanthropic entrepreneurs. We've got expert speakers. We've got networking calls. We're going to change up the event space. We're going to do so much more. I'll send you guys an email with information on it. I'm just looking for the most incredible humans possible to join this group and be a part of our mission and support the causes of people doing good. So I'm really excited about what we've launched there. If you're interested in that, send me a message. But remember, guys, the bigger you go, the bigger you can give and the more happiness that you can buy. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for 40 minutes there during that presentation. For those of you that want to throw your cameras back on, you're more than welcome to. But I would love to just hear, I'm sorry, guys, I didn't get a chance to look at the chat because my screen was all blocked up there. But I would love to hear some takeaways that you've had, maybe a question or two that you have, something that's inspired you on this. The whole point of this call is meant to be interactive, chat with people and learn about what they got going on. So anybody want to share something that they're taking away? I know, Mark, you're first. I already knew you were going to say something here, so hit me up.
All right. Thanks for doing this, Randy. So just to give you a little context, I met Randy 3 weeks ago and we just hit it off like brothers and brothers. So I know some of this presentation and I've started applying this, and the things I want to comment are about just some of the other things that are beyond the revenue and beyond that. I've started to make a mental note of when the opportunity to help other people. And a couple of things. I've started giving money to the homeless man that's on the corner there. And with my daughter in the car, she's 4 years old, and she observes this. And what's amazing about this is that I want to teach my kids these values. And for me to say, oh, give money away or do this and do that, nothing is more pure and nothing is more effective, impactful than showing them. The other day, me and my oldest daughter, she's 20 years old, we're at a coffee shop. And I'm noticing there's kind of a common theme in this coffee shop. There are a bunch of pregnant women. Okay. And all of a sudden I put two and two together and I'm like, oh, I bet they're like, this is a hangout. So there's a problem because they go outside and there's these little tables and there's 12 of them. So I noticed one woman starting to look around and she's going for a table. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to put like 8 tables together. And so I started to go over there and just say, all you need to do is just create a table with your seats. And I'm bringing these tables over. So me and my daughter helped them. And we're walking away and she was just like, that was really cool. I said, yeah, all you got to do. And I mentioned you, Randy. It's like, I've got this new great best friend named Randy. And you always look for these opportunities because you never know how much that will impact you. I mean, I could go on and on about this. The other thing the other thing that I've also noticed is that I sometimes did not want to divulge too much of like, oh, I'm a giver and this is my cause. We talked about this, Randy. It shows vulnerability. And sometimes this human mindset says, oh, if you show vulnerability, then people aren't going to work with you, right? It's very, it's kind of far-fetched, but this up here can get to you sometimes. What I've noticed and kind of the different mindset I take is that I'm very open about my giving now. It's about the mental health stuff, about all the ideas that you've given me, because it's so simple. In terms of baseball face cares, $100, so simple. Now, here's the thing, though. Here is the mindset. So if somebody says, "Oh man, why are you doing it this way?" or maybe you should focus on being a better advisor, being a better coach, or whatever, then it's like self-selecting. It's like, I have a lot of people in front of me, and if you think that way, then that's okay. And it just goes beyond this. You start to see some, just impact in any kind of way. And it's so amazing. So thank you so much, Randy.
Oh, dude, I appreciate you so much. And I just love you sharing. I'm grateful you shared that thing with your daughter, because I know you're one of the ones that put that in right away, of spending more time with your daughter, talking about giving and the relationship it's built and what that means. So thank you so much for sharing that, Mark. I'll let Aaron go, and then we'll go to Kathleen.
Well, first and foremost, Mark, thank you so much for all that you just shared, because I feel like everything that you said was exactly what I wanted to share. But I will say, Randy, thank you so much for rising up and wanting to lead the charge, because there's power when we come together. We fly higher like eagles, and we can share that message. But what's so beautiful, I could seriously start to get emotional right now, because I'm on a call with souls that actually truly care about other people. This is rare, but so beautiful, right? Randy just invited me yesterday to come to this call, and the times that I've had, I'm so sorry, getting emotional here. The times that I've had to talk with Randy, I'm like, where did this soul come from? Because it takes somebody of that caliber to rise up and to want to help for the betterment of our world, and to be on a call with all of you badass individuals that are entrepreneurs, which I love entrepreneurs. But man, the things and the power we have when we come together to not just infect, but effect the lives of other people, we are so much better together. So when I heard, Randy, your presentation, like, I felt like I just wanted to cheer in my room. And I'm sure my son, who's in the other room, is like, Mom, what the hell's going on over there? Because I'm like, yes, like talking to myself, right? Like I'm at a Tony Robbins event, because there is power in this presentation of just sharing with other people. And I just love. I don't even know the last time I got on a podcast and was crying. But I love how you touched on RAS. RAS is so powerful, that reticular activating system. And if I take anything from what you shared today, I would consider myself a big time giver. But it's the small, finite things that matter most. I've got 5 beautiful children. And that idea, as Mark touched on and reiterated, that look for the opportunities. They're in front of us everywhere. And I would say that I'm a pretty smart, wise, strategic chick, but you took it to a whole nother level just by putting on those goggles in the morning and waking up saying, today's the day. Today's the day that I'm going to go out and I'm going to make a difference, even with those just little small things that you do. And so I want to tell you, thank you so much. With my kids at home, it all starts with intentionality. We can all say that we're givers, but what are you doing today to change lives, to put a smile on someone's face, to give them hope? It's that small, little thing. It doesn't have to be grandiose, and it doesn't even have to require money. It could just be a hug or a smile or a, hey, how are you? I just heard this the other day, and I'll shut up afterwards. You can see I'm pretty passionate here, but it could be like this, guys. Like, you literally, there's 2 things I'll tell you. You can walk into the coffee shop and you can say, hey, to the cashier, how are you? Hope you're having a good day. and on to the conversation. Or you can look them in the eyes and say, hey, how are you today? And pause. Not to be so quick to get to the next. And the other thing I'll tell you is this, there is power in just a freaking hug. If we hug heart to heart and we pause, same thing. We can come in and give a hug. How many times do we just give a quick hug and we're off to the next? But man, hold on a second, give a hug, heart to heart, hold for 6 seconds and just hug with a pause. Guess what? It's the #1 way to bring gratitude into your life because it's a release, an oxytocin, dopamine release that goes from person to person and changes the hormones that run through our body of just peace and happiness. So those are my 2 give backs. Pause on the hug, and then pause when you're talking to somebody, when you ask them a question. And Randy, thank you so much for putting all these brilliant individuals on this call. And truthfully, I would love to connect with every single one of you. I would love to know, what is it that you're doing? I want to learn from you. Because I would consider myself savvy and entrepreneurial, but it's so much bigger than just that. So I'll put my contact information in there. I'd love to connect with you.
Please do. You are embodying everything that I dreamed of creating these types of communities, is just this stuff. So thank you, Erin. I appreciate you sharing and just pouring your heart and love into this community. Kathleen, you said you wanted to share something quickly.
Just quickly, yes.
Yeah.
I have to run off to a meeting. Erin, oh my God, you said everything so perfectly. I feel like you just walked through my brain with half of that. That's amazing. And Randy, I'm so thrilled to be here. I met you through Mark. And Randy was so generous because I'm also building a community. And he just texted me and said, oh, I can help you. I know how to build communities. And we had this amazing call. You are such a generous, great person. I really want to find out more about being a founding member for your group and also about your services, because I think you're going to change the world. And by the way, it's not my kids anymore. It's grandkids. I have 4 grandsons and I cannot wait to get them started with this. Is going to be really fun. So thank you so much and goodbye, everybody. Sorry.
Thanks, Kathleen. Really excited to chat with you again.
Yeah.
This is it, guys. This is like the most gratitude that I get in my life is just sharing Go Big to Give Big. I stepped down from I didn't share a ton of this, but I stepped down from my real estate investment company. I've stepped down from my mastermind. I've stepped down from everything to go all in on being here and just serving this purpose. So, Erin, I'll make sure you get connected to some people on this call. And for those of you that I haven't met before, please find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, send me a message. I want to serve. I want to chat. I want to help any way that I can. And with the remaining 4 or 5 minutes, if somebody has a question, if somebody wants me to pull their business apart and show them how they can start adding a giving component to it, happy to do that. If not, I'm also happy to end the call a few minutes early for people. Going once.
I'd love to say something if that's okay.
You can say all you want, bro. You're the birthday boy. You can take the microphone.
Oh man, well, thank you so much. It feels good. 35 today, and honestly, I set a goal 6 months ago to just have the highest level of vitality.
Oh,
no.
muted himself. There you go, bro.
There I am.
Try
I'm
it
back.
again.
And no, I really had an opportunity to just reach that goal. So like coming into this, like, as you guys already know, Randy's just awesome. I've been personally working with this guy for 3 weeks, and I feel like I'd invite this guy to my next, well, I won't have a next wedding, but I would invite this guy to all these, like, he's amazing. I mean, to be able to have the energy, and like I tell him every day, like I know how busy it is and I get emotional too. So I'll send like fat text messages and I'll be like, bro, like your purpose on this globe is this. And every time someone hears about it, their minds are blown. It's a whole nother level when you actually start working with this guy. Like the energy is there, the connections are there. Man, it really revolutionizes how fast we can go. And being able to work with Baseball Face Cares, I mean, gosh, like you've seen the pictures. I went ahead and put a link in the description because one thing I think is so incredibly important is transparency, right? Like where does your money go? How is it working? What is the effect that we can do? And since Randy and I are in the foundational stages of building this thing, transparency is built and woven into that thread work. So what does that mean? It's like, I can literally send you a video of the kids saying, thank you for your $100. I'm like, I talked to them on WhatsApp. We're in Cuba, Venezuela, Uganda, you name it, right? But the idea is that we're like, together, we're catalyzing sustainable change. That's the idea. It's like, if we really want to change a community, at least with what we're doing, we can't go, it can't be from the outside in. It has to be from the inside out. So by providing sporting equipment to these communities, kind of like Randy said, it fosters hope. It gets people out of high risk activities. It gets these kids like Kazumba, who made it all the way through, a chance. So then they can represent their community and they can start creating the change within the community. So it becomes sustainable. So I put a link in there if you guys want to see. It's essentially just a voice message of the coach being over grateful with a bunch of different things that we've been able to do. But again, I mean, Randy is just the absolute man. I'm so just pumped to be with you, especially this early on, right? Like, take note that this is a movement that's coming, and what an opportunity to have invested in the internet in 1970, right? Like, this is what I see when I think of that, right? So this is the new internet. This is the way it's going to go. Randy, I'm so pumped. Thank you so much. I'll put the link in there one more time. But again, like, for my birthday, my wife was like, where do you want to go? What kind of party do you want to have? I was like, let's throw a party at our house and raise money for these kids. And literally we had 10 people bring us $1,000 just like that. So I will send you a personal video for anyone that donates today. I will send you a personal video with your name on it, coming from those kids saying, thank you, Randy. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Aaron. Thank any one of you. I will have a personal message for you that will literally just like, you can cue that up in the morning when you're feeling funky, and it'll just give you growth for the day. But again, thank you so much, Randy. You're the best. Kelly, wow. Like, I've been visualizing ever since. And Maya and I have just been going and exploding. So thank you guys so much. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, bro. That was unbelievable. You guys can see why I'm so excited to support this guy and the mission that he's on. It's very cool. I'm helping him rebuild charity the way that I would want it done if I was a business donating to it. I'd want to know exactly what it is, how many units I can buy, where my money's going, thank yous and stuff like that. So we're going to build a back end part of his charity that runs consistently, that's funded by business owners, so that when other people outside of the organization that are at baseball parks can go donate, he can say all your money goes directly to the kids because I'm funded by business owners on the back end. People like this on this call that can support people like Sammy. He can start using all that money to organize logistics and make things happen so that people that are at the ballparks, when he stands out there and says, hey, anybody here want to buy a baseball for a kid? All that goes directly to the kids out there. So it's going to be super special. I'm excited for it. It's Sammy's going to be my dream testimonial from a nonprofit. So one of the things about me, I love being punctual. I love being on time. I'm so grateful that you all committed 60 minutes of your day to be in this call. And thank you for the kind words, guys. I wasn't expecting a bunch of testimonials to come from this, but it is infectious. I hope you guys can see that when you get in rooms like this, when people start talking about giving, it's this giving filter that when you give, you're just genuinely a great human and it brings great people together. I know Zahir's on the call and you know, he's one of the guys that has implemented that $100 with his kids to start making impact and spending time with them. And it's just so great. And Rebecca's obviously been a huge supporter. And I'm just so grateful for everyone on here. So thank you guys so much. I will send you an email with a bunch of details with some stuff, but just wanted to thank you again for your commitment, for being here for 60 minutes and being champions of the Go Big to Give Big mission. So if you need anything, reach out to me. Thank you all and have a great day.
Wait, hold on. I want to just say happy birthday, Sammy. I just gave to your fund. Good job.
Nice. Thank you, Aaron. That is so special. So thank you, everybody. We will chat with you soon.